You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's This Is How I Made It After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's This Is How I Made It After Show.
Bing is for doing. My name's Thomas.
DJ Jesse Janity.
And Kendra Cavasel.
And welcome to MTV's How I Made It, featuring Chris Brown and Naya Rivera, however you want to say it, episode 3. All right, let's give a quick shout out. You're from Boston, to people on the East Coast real fast, because they're dealing with Superstorm Sandy, right?
They sure are. So shout out to them.
Yeah, it's really, and you got family out there too, right?
Yeah, my mom's in New York. I have some family and friends in that area, and Philly, and everyone's doing fine. So a lot of people were home from work today.
Yeah, so it's a positive thing.
Yeah, it's good to hear. Well, shout out to all you guys out there and ladies out there. Hope everything's going well. Now let's get back to this. So we started with Naya Rivera. She grew up here in Valencia, California, which is a suburb 30 minutes north of Los Angeles, depending on traffic, más o menos. Let's talk about her. Her mom was an aspiring model, and that's what brought her to Los Angeles. Her mom moved here for that. And then Naya got into acting. She did a couple of scenes on, there she is right there. She did a couple of scenes.
Her cute in her little moo-moo dress.
Her little moo-moo?
No, her little moo-moo dress.
Family Matters, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, a couple of guest appearances.
You know, nothing big, just huge name shows.
And then she said that she kind of got stuck in that child role. And then when she hit her, her teenager, she had a hard time because she was cast. She was either, because she's half Puerto Rican, and then a fourth black, and then a fourth German.
Yeah.
So she just dropped dead gorgeous.
Exactly. She's American, and so she had a hard time though being cast because she couldn't. She would be cast for a part, and they'd be like, "We're going to be Hispanic, or you're going to be black," and so she never could fit different parts. And it was interesting that she mentioned that really hurt her career because she couldn't, go back and forth on any role.
Yeah, she was about to quit over that.
I think about age 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny as far as the industry. It's like I hear this a lot from interracial kids, especially older. They look down and they're like, "Damn, I wish I was your age now," because that's the in. Her look is in right now. It could go any other. It's very ambiguous. So, bitch, you on Glee now.
You just got done hosting Bad Girls Club.
Yeah,
no,
sorry.
I'm
still shaking off some of the situation that I was dealing with back there on my last episode.
But that's what I was thinking though. When she mentioned that, I was shocked because I thought it would have played to her benefit. She could have been ambiguous, but I guess back in the 90s it wasn't as easy to. And there's Chris Brown. We'll talk about Chris Brown in a little bit. But so, I mean, any other thoughts on her? When we were watching, it was just interesting that at age 20 she wanted to give up. And then she got that call for Glee, and right before she'd mentioned she was playing.
She was on CSI Miami
as a heroin
addict who ended up in a trunk from an overdose.
And she laughed. I guess it was just.
Oh, who was electrocuted and left for dead, and she kind of was laughing because it's such a difference from the Glee.
We all get those roles, sometimes you just got to take them or
it's
not. It's
a
part of acting, I'm sure we've all had some crazy roles. I had to play a hermaphrodite one time, and I was.
How was that?
Oh, really?
I mean, I acted normal, and then all of a sudden, I just found out my role was a hermaphrodite, and I was like, "Oh, all right, we're just gonna go with that."
What did you add to the?
Yeah, what did you? How do you play that? What do you?
Sorry, if you feel comfortable talking.
No, they wanted it to be very masculine, and I have to drop my drawers down to the director, and they give a reaction shot, but they wanted me to be very masculine.
Okay.
And then to find out that I have a mangina.
Did you have to have a prop for that? Sorry, I had to ask
Well,
that.
to
Don't we
make
have a
the-
sound effect
Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
changing the subject.
But the point is that we all have to play. The point is when you're starting out, you have to play
Sorry.
crazy roles. You know, you kind of just take what you get. So, you know, a meth addict electrocuted in the trunk of a car. You know, not the role we're all going for, but it led her to.
Which
Bigger,
which
better,
was better, yeah,
Bigger and
because
better.
she mentioned right before that she
Mhm.
was a nanny, she waited tables, and you got an amen for that, and we were watching. Remember
Yeah,
when?
no, because she said something, and that's what I said it to, and now I don't remember because I'm still thinking of
Did
his-
the hermaphrodite?
Yeah,
Please
Back to
get
the
that
hermaphrodite.
image out of your head.
yeah.
Well,
The
yeah, that
images,
image,
the
whatever.
images. Yeah.
So back to her.
But
and
yeah,
her
so
singing career.
Yeah, so then she got that call and she was happy because it was she's able to fit this character, and she said she brought a little of the anger to the character on Glee, Santana Lopez, because she had that anger as an actress. She's like, well, you know what, the hell with this, I'm gonna just go like balls to the wall with this. Well, maybe not figuratively, but anyway, she was just gonna go straight with this, and like it helped her do really well, and it showed her like if you've ever watched Glee, we have a little Gleek over here, Marissa.
Our in-house Gleek.
So Marissa, give us a little insight on Glee. Like I've watched a couple of episodes of Glee, and like her character just seems like, you know, she's obviously singing a lot, you know, and she's trying really hard to overcome adversity in the show. What's your thought on it as being like a Gleek?
I like her character, and she's a great actress and great singer. Another thing with Santana Lopez and Glee is that her character is a lesbian. So it's that whole coming of age and accepting who you are. So there's that transitional period where she's kind of like angry at the world and angry at like the fact that no one really understands her yet. So I think maybe that's where they play in her anger of the character to that type of storyline.
And when you think that out of all the characters on this show, I kind of think her storyline is the deepest.
Yeah, definitely one of the more
Like her
serious.
character has the most depth to it.
Yeah, one of the more serious.
Because
more
of her
real,
being a lesbian in the show, or
Yeah.
because of?
Yeah, both of.
Because we
that,
just
because
what season did she come out as a lesbian? It was like end of second.
Yeah, it's like the second one where her and the character Brittany were both accepting the fact that that they do like other women. So yeah.
But just seeing the contrast of how they both play the roles, her character, like you said, has the anger issues, and it's just more mysterious. With Brittany, it's kind of like the comic relief. And
Got it.
They
Exactly.
didn't really address that, did they?
No,
I
not
mean,
at
they
all in
addressed
the-
the anger, but they didn't address. I didn't, because as I don't watch Glee, so I didn't know.
It seemed like they cut it really short, so I'm sure she got into it and they just cut her interview.
Maybe so.
Like they just highlighted on, like this is where she started and this is where she ended. But yeah, they didn't touch on that at all. It's really surprising because you would have thought, especially with MTV having so many shows addressing sexuality and stuff like that.
And that reminds me of growing up in Canada. We had Kids of Degrassi Street, which was before this whole Degrassi. And
Wait, what
on
is the Kids of Degrassi
KTLA
Street?
and it was before. It was Kids of Degrassi Street, then Degrassi Junior High, and then it was Degrassi that you guys know.
that's where Drake is from.
Yeah, but he wasn't on the Kids of Degrassi Street. Like like Spike, all the teachers and stuff. They were that younger generation, so they were the main characters. But anyway, Caitlin, I don't know if you guys know. I'm like talking all about Degrassi.
No, it's
Like
it
listed.
relates to it. It's a little
But yeah, so Caitlin was a lesbian on that show, so we saw that years and years ago, and that was
which would have been a little too taboo for us in America.
Yeah, it's interesting,
know.
huh?
We're like
Yeah, but-
forward, but sometimes a little more behind, but
Yeah.
kind of balances in an odd. But yeah, and then she said like the best moment was when she went to Oprah and performed, and then when she went and performed for the president and the first family. So it was pretty amazing.
So she said she's doing something right.
So you guys ready to switch over to Chris Brown?
Sure, I just can't stop looking at her. She's
She's
freaking,
stunning,
like-
and this is what we were saying.
I can't
How
wait
did
for
she
her
not
to
get
like really
roles?
get into her singing career, because rumor has it
Rumor has it.
that Glee is Ryan Murphy's ending Glee.
really?
So all these kids got to find something.
Do you think she looks a little Kim Kardashian-esque? Because that's what we were thinking.
were
We're watching,
saying,
like on the
yeah.
side. Maybe
If
it's the
Kim
makeup.
Kardashian and Nicole Scherzinger or whatever had a
Scherzinger?
child,
It would be Naya.
yeah,
Think so?
she's. I cannot take my eyes off the TV.
Because when she was doing the red carpets and they had like the side profile of her,
It
the
looked
way
like
maybe it was the makeup, the way they contoured her face, but it looked a lot like Kim Kardashian.
And you know
on the
what's
side.
funny? You said she gets stuck in the kid role.
Mhm.
That actually is funny because on the show she is pretty, but like to watch her like because
she's
I
a
mean
lot
they're
more
all
beautiful
they're all
person.
older.
Yeah.
Like she's 23, is it?
No, she's 26.
26.
Yeah.
Chris Brown.
Chris yeah.
She's 26 years old playing a high schooler
Mm-hmm.
to dumb down that beauty, and that's why it's like so shocking to see her on red carpets
Yeah.
and I mean all of them, even like Leah Michelle and stuff. But so yeah, it's
It's like when Stacey
girl,
Dash,
you got to do something right. Yeah.
you know, Stacey was like 40 something playing a.
Play Clueless, like girl, get
Yeah.
off that camera.
But it worked. It worked.
It
you know.
actually did very well. Go her.
He's like, girl, get off that high school
But-
campus.
Yes.
We need to get him after that girls club more often.
I know.
Can we get a vote for that, please?
I am a little more vocal.
So let's go to Chris Brown. Like, he was born in Virginia, actually, a small town, grew up in poverty. It didn't really touch a lot on his parents. Just had his mom more pushed him, you know, to like kind of follow his dreams. And it kind of mentioned that like he was singing since birth. Like as soon as he was a kid, he started singing. And they showed like little snippets of him, you know, with different video in the background, but like him just singing at a very young age.
Yeah.
And his mom just like pushing him to do that. And then do you remember when he was working for, where did his dad work at? His dad worked at, was it a convenience store or was it was some kind of store in that little town. And Chris would help his dad out at the store. And then there was some kind of record producer, someone just was coming through this little town and asked if there was anyone, like if there were any kids that had talent. And the dad said, hey, my son can sing, try my son out. And so Chris Brown sang. He went to Washington, went to New York. And then, yeah, it just started from there. I mean,
Run it.
he ran it, but isn't that crazy?
Literally.
Like, I mean, had he not go to help his dad out of the store, like he may have never been discovered, and he would have still been in that little bitty town.
I feel like he would have been discovered because
think
my
so?
thing about Chris Brown is he's had some choice issues, you know, situations happen in his career. But the one thing that I do like about Chris Brown is he's very
Is he
there's a
persistent?
mystery to him.
Mhm.
Like I love Usher.
How
I
so?
grew up in the Usher era.
Mm-hmm.
But with Usher there was never like mystery to him. Like you know what you're getting with Usher.
You think mystery is now, or not at the very beginning, but you mean like now with his life? Is that what you're referring to, or
Well,
do you mean
just yeah, period. I mean, with his life, with his love life, with just who Chris Brown is. With Usher, it's like he's, you know, because people compare Chris Brown to two people, Usher and Michael Jackson. Now, do I think he's Michael Jackson status? No. Love you, but no. You know, do I think he's Usher status? No offense, I think his career will go beyond Usher's. Just because there's a little something extra with Chris Brown. With Usher, it's like I said, it's just you're going to get the sex, you're going to get the shirt off, singing to the ladies. With Chris Brown, it's more you get that, but he still has this charm, this personality, reminds you of your friend, or he's into like all this artistic stuff. He's creating graffiti pieces and artwork, and there's just you want to know more about his life. With Usher, it's like, all right, you married that girl, you had kids. That's
Well,
cool.
no. I was just gonna say I
Yeah.
don't think it's an insult to say he's not Michael, he's not Usher. I sometimes don't
He's
like
Chris
when people
Brown.
when people compare to others. 'cause
I'm
it's like,
comparing greatness.
No, I
like
know,
Chris.
but you're saying
here we go, let's
people
go.
compare. I'm not saying you're comparing.
All right.
I'm just saying when people
I was like, girl, I just finished Bad Girls Club.
like put that water down. You better recognize. No.
On that note, check us out on AfterBuzzTV.com.
I know we're getting a little.
No, this is
let's
awesome.
Dial it back.
No, but you know what?
Wait,
was
before we do that, let's remind people, because I know you guys are watching us right now because we look so lovely. But make sure you guys tell your friends to download, subscribe, rate us on iTunes.
Right, you
Leave
can write
us a
to us, too.
comment, and I do this on my other shows. Leave us a comment with your Twitter name, and we'll give you a shout out on the show. Incentive.
Copy that.
All right, back to Chris.
You know, another thing you mentioned about Chris Brown, like the different layers of him. Did you know that he used to sing gospel when he was a kid? I didn't know that, and that was like really fascinating. That like, and he mentioned like there was a song I can't remember what song it was he was singing.
And he got the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, he got the Holy Ghost. He started crying when he was singing. It was like really in depth, and it's like another side of Chris Brown that you wouldn't have imagined seeing.
We need to get Chris Brown. I want to ask somebody. I've always wondered about the Holy Ghost. Like, really? I feel you, but like, what was? I want to get into that with Chris.
It's
Brown.
just another level.
Yeah, it's another
I
level. Like
know.
you've never
Yeah.
felt that in church, or I mean, I felt that. Like, I don't
not to,
necessarily
like-
cry, but I
Beyond
felt.
goosebumps.
Yeah,
it's
you just
beyond-
have
I've
this
gotten
feeling
goosebumps.
of.
beyond.
Yeah, you just have this feeling of it's just
Like
like
you've
awe.
worked-
You can't explain it. It's just like, yeah, some people cry, some people, but it's just like this very overwhelming calming peace, which is why sometimes I feel like sometimes in church people sometimes fall asleep because it's just so relaxed. Not that they're being rude, but
or
it's like
pass out,
because you're just
or-
so calm. You're just
I
like
mean, I've fallen asleep before.
it's because it's
for
very
other
calming,
reasons.
soothing. I used to ask my grandma that. She was like, it's
I'm
because it's
just being
calming.
an asshole.
Yeah.
Nigel's not here, so I'm taking his place.
Oh no.
I'm just kidding.
Shout out to Nigel.
Love you.
I know.
XOXO. But yeah, but it was kind of shocking to just with the news that's happened of him now, but to know that he had that life as a kid growing up, and like gospel was a really big deal to him, and yeah, just all that. But he mentioned Tina Davis. She's the one that helped him get to the label and helped him get to Def Jam Records. And he mentioned when he went in that boardroom and sang, like he got on his knees and he sang to a lady in there because he was nervous as hell. Like Chris Brown didn't know what to do. I mean, he's like, this is it. And then he's like, I got to do it. This is going to make my life, or it's going to break it. Or maybe not break it, but this is going to make me money, or I'm going to go back to the farm, basically. And he impressed him. They said, we're going to sign you, and started his career.
He's just, I mean, he's an entertainer. You look at him, like, even the way he's just moving his hands, he has this fluidity to him. And his dance moves,
Mm-hmm.
he's that type of person that just keeps adding stuff to it. And I know you're just going to keep, like, why are you comparing?
No. I was saying before because people compare.
Right.
I'm not. You
I
can
do, and I do
compare.
compare. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie, I
that's
do
fine.
compare. But I compare in like greatness,
Compare and
not
contrast.
not that he is
Mhm.
anything like Usher, but why I say Michael Jackson is somebody who he would go to Egypt and pick things up from Egypt and add that to who Michael Jackson is. With Usher, I don't see that, and that's fine because what Usher's doing is working amazingly, and that's the part of the greatness. The greats do that. Beyonce, all these like the top people, they're always building onto their
Mm-hmm.
brand, and I
Usher
feel like
has
Chris
the
Brown does
foundation.
that.
Well,
What's that?
Usher has a foundation too. But anyway.
Ooh, you know what?
Touched a sore
No
spot.
shade.
There we
I
go.
kind of felt
No,
like you. I was like, I'm gonna dig a little deeper because I feel like I feel like I can just feel
But
it.
see,
when
I
you-
was
I'm
gonna-
just
I'm
for the
just
sake
kidding
of
with you.
conversation.
I
Some afterbuzz conversation.
Little dab.
just
Yeah.
keeping the buzz
I was
going.
gonna compare him to Timberlake though, because in the
by.
VMA video, like when it showed Chris Brown dancing, and he said that's when he realized he's like I've become more than I ever thought I could
Yeah.
be. When Justin Timberlake, because I mean the songs at the very beginning were very not similar, but the style were kind of like poppy in a sense, and they both danced. And when Timberlake said, he's like, wow, I'm getting old, I can't do that anymore. And he's like, that was amazing for him to say that about me, and he knew that he had reached his stardom.
Greatness.
Speaking of talking with your hands, I do that a lot. So.
Oh, I do too. Don't worry.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Sign of greatness, right? That's what you said. So
Sure is.
We're talking
don't
about
argue with bad girls. So here we go.
I'm
It's a
wearing my
tough act to follow.
wearing my spiked boots tonight, guys.
Just don't
Oh, he
kick.
does. Can we show them those? Those are-
Zoom in.
Yeah, he means business. But yeah, so I mean,
Oh, that's
it's
the-
pretty crazy though to think how they both had very different lives. You know.
I mean, pause just because it's on TV right now, but Naya's on TV playing the cracked out meth addict. Gorgeous. Even as
Even
a meth
as-
addict.
right.
Yeah, girl.
But she looks there like she's doing like a makeup commercial almost. Like she could do
Yeah,
like CoverGirl or something.
The setup for her is not. I'm not crazy about that. But I
And
like
there's-
Chris Brown's
Chris's
setup.
was cool. It's at the Vibiana church downtown. We were talking about
Oh,
that. I'm
which
like,
is very
I know
ironic,
that
too.
place. Yeah. I'd gone to a Key Art Awards show there once, and it was just beautiful
looks
because they had
really
the
pretty.
choir up in the front. It was
Mhm.
just the lighting, everything is nice.
How
in there.
interesting. He's a gospel boy and he was filmed
They
inside
filmed
the
him
church.
at a church.
But I
yeah.
mean, exactly what you were saying, but it's also very fitting in a way too, because I mean that's kind of where he started. But then right now, if you look at past several years, he's kind of like the white elephant in the room. His relationship with Rihanna. Well, I mean, it's
No.
it's out there. We're not trying to. It's just the facts that are out there have been released. It kind of does make you be like, oh, he's, the interviews in the church, like how fitting was that,
And I mean, again, it's just. I always talk about redeeming qualities out of
Mhm.
people, relatability, and
What are his redeeming qualities? Would you say?
his redeeming qualities is his charm factor, is who he is. If you watch interview and like not the interviews when they go on like Jimmy Kimmel, I don't like watching those interviews. I like watching interviews like when they come on AfterBuzzes, those types of
the underground.
yeah, underground. I feel like they just you hear a lot, especially the Breakfast Club, or when they get on those raw platforms and can kind of like show themselves a little more. If you really pay attention to him, you can sit there and say like, okay, I know what he did when he was dating this girl, but like, if you really dig deep into the story, and I'm not condoning anything, please, because we all know how you just say the wrong thing and they want to jump on this topic. But we've all been in a bad relationship before, and after that relationship, you know, you had to separate your ways. You still think about that person, and you see right now we're seeing this whole situation with, as much as we love Chris Brown's music, Rihanna's music, we are still attracted to who they are because we can relate to that. We can relate to a relationship like that. Exactly. And again, it's the same thing when you see Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake in a relationship. These are kids growing up, and that's why I think he has redeeming qualities. You know, he went on and apologized. You see him trying to make his way back. It's not like he's like, and no shade to Kanye West, but going out there and like doing things just to get a rise out of people. He had a situation. He tries to stay on a certain path. You know, now those to me are redeeming qualities and relatable qualities that I can compare myself to.
When did they start dating? This was back, what was it, 06 probably? Because I remember
It was like 05, 06 maybe?
Yeah.
I remember seeing them on Melrose once, and I think that was around 05. Like I got here in 05, so 04, 05.
I remember
Sorry.
back in no, because I'm trying to think. I think it was back in like this. It was Jingle Ball back in 05. Like I worked for Clear Channel and I was escorting Sean DePaul. Like different people on the street team would escort different artists for Jingle Ball's a big concert in downtown LA.
I love that you said Sean DePaul.
Me, I didn't want to call him up for it.
Why?
It's Sean Paul.
Oh, it's Sean Paul. Well, back
Sean
then,
DePaul.
back then it was Sean
Sean
DePaul
DePaul.
because he'd be like Sean DePaul. And anyway, it got really hazy up in
Love
that
that.
area. There was a lot of fog in that area, if you can catch my drift. But
They were smoking pot.
Yeah. And anyway, we had a weird towel request. But anyway, so back to Chris Brown and Rihanna. Yeah.
Who, Sean
AfterBuzz
DePaul?
They had to have
exclusive.
like 10 different. They had to have like 20 different towels. We didn't have the right color. It was like
For who, Sean?
yeah, it was crazy. But that long story. But so anyway, so back to the that's on another
That was
version.
exclusive.
Yeah, another. Can we get an AfterBuzz?
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
It was like 10
You
to
heard
20 different. Like we'd have like white towels. We only had black, and but they couldn't have black because it was like bad luck, and
Oh, really?
it was like right before they went on stage. It was really odd, and anyway, we couldn't fulfill the request. They went
Wow.
on stage anyway. But a couple of my coworkers, one of them escorted Rihanna, and one of them escorted a very young Chris Brown. And a friend of mine who escorted Chris Brown, Ryan, had mentioned, he goes, it's very hard to keep those two apart because they're not supposed to be together, and we have to, and because Rihanna, I think it was Rihanna was going to his dressing room, and they had to keep like breaking them up, but they couldn't keep them apart. So back at that, like you had mentioned, you saw them on Melrose together in that
Yeah.
picture. They already.
Oh, no, in person.
Oh, in person, you saw them in person.
Yeah.
They were already starting to form that relationship, and you couldn't keep them apart. They have that sort of
Oh,
whatever it is that
it's-
draws them together. Like they discovered it at a very young age, and they just kind of stuck with it.
Yeah.
Another AfterBuzz exclusive. I mean, come on. Now.
He's just
I'm
giving
just
them
spilling the
names.
beans. Like
She's
let's
like-
just.
She's like, everything you say is exclusive.
Right.
I can't keep
Hey, we're
pressing
here.
you.
It's exclusive.
Right.
Let's just like, come on. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting though. So yeah, I mean, do you guys have anything else you want to share about Mr.
I mean, again,
Brown.
just I really like him as far as what he's doing with himself in his career. Even just seeing like the art that he's into, and that intrigues me more. Like, 'cause he's into like graffiti and the drawings that he paints, and I don't know if you've ever seen like pictures of inside his house. It literally looks like a kid's room, and that stuff is like. How old, buddy? Like,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's intriguing because it's like what's his name, Pharrell. I don't know if you've ever seen his house.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like a damn Schwartz. What's that toy
So-
store's name?
FAO Schwartz.
FAO
Yeah.
Schwartz.
So
Like,
does Chris draw? Does he paint
Yeah.
and draw? Those
He-
are all of his artwork. is on
yeah.
the wall.
For a while, I forget the name of the artist. He like stopped doing music for a little bit. I think it was right before the graffiti thing happened. Like right after the whole Rihanna thing, I think he put all his emotion into graffiti.
Artwork.
And artwork, and he was working with a really big artist. I cannot remember. He's big in LA. And you would just see him out there
Like a
spraying,
tagger,
tagging
or-
with them. And now he does his own stuff. So I think that again reminds me of Kanye West in the sense of Kanye's very into like putting on productions and making it more epic. And so here Chris is not
trying to
only
top yourself in a sense. Yeah.
not only creating music as an art, but actual physical art. And I think, to see a gallery of when he is good, big enough and has enough pieces, it's just something. It's for the more entertaining for the kids.
And the body art. I mean, I think he's taken that up.
You mentioned the
another
tattoo.
level.
I didn't even notice it, but the tattoo that he had in the interview. Can you explain that a
it's-
little bit?
Well, I noticed it on his neck, and I noticed it must have been a recent interview because that was in the news recently because
Yep.
everyone
It-
ran
a
with it and thought it
Maybelline-
was.
But wasn't it an
Sorry?
abusive? It was an abused woman, I think, or something.
No,
right?
that's what they were
That
saying.
was
That's
the
what they're saying it
rumor.
was, right?
Yeah, and I don't know if he
It's
talked out
the
about it, but-
Mexican, like the day of the
Dia de los Muertos,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
half fit
which
of
is
her
coming
face,
up. Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
the other half is of it's like a model.
Oh, like half face, yeah, half skeleton.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew.
But
But no, you know what's interesting about that too is like you know, people often say this, like, you know, in the U.S., like, and maybe have a different opinion being from Canada originally, but, you know,
Get
Americans seem to be very
pictures.
judgmental, like, you know, on celebrities and, you know, politicians.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like, with Chris Brown, everything he's gone through, we got into a discussion about it right before the show outside. Remember, you know, there was another person at AfterBuzz discussing it, and they had a different opinion.
Carucci.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's interesting because, like, as a, you know, when him and the Rihanna incident happened, you know, when they got in the big fight and she was in the hospital and he got handcuffed and, you know, it just
Mhm.
kind of escalated court. At the same time, people were bothered and angry and upset because, you know, that was a really bad situation. Like, you know, it definitely went too far, and, you know, and he did things he probably he shouldn't have done. But at the same time, like, people want to forgive him and
Right.
people want him to move forward. And that's really interesting about the U.S. Like, we'll put you out in the media and we will literally like slay you in front of everybody, and then when everyone's done beating you up,
We'll
they're
start picking you
like,
back up.
yeah, come on. And then just like when the GMA
Britney
thing
Spears
happened,
is-
Mhm.
everyone was, you could see, you know, everything was released about when he got upset, you know, at that interview afterwards, and so many people were like, geez, come on, buddy, like, we want you to, I think so many people want, like you had mentioned, I think so many people want him to do well.
Mhm.
Like,
To
I'm
cheer
one of those
for.
people who's like, come on, buddy, get it together. Like, I want you to do well because I think you have a lot to offer, and I think you're a good person. I think you just got to work some things out, but I think a lot of people do. I mean, what are you guys'
Well, and then,
thoughts?
I mean, you see what's it called? I mean, if you saw the Rihanna Oprah interview, like the whole interview was about their relationship. And I mean, as much as we're sitting here talking about poor Naya, but talking about Chris Brown and his career, this takes over, and
It does.
you know, it is 2012, and now your career, unfortunately or fortunately, how I mean, for Kim Kardashian it works. For artists, I think it doesn't really work. You know, but your life is a part of your career. It makes you your career, and this relationship is so big, and we're so into it. And to hear Rihanna talk about it and say like, "That's the love of my life. I forgive him," I think it kind of does, again, bring that redeemable quality, and like, you know what, like, they really loved each other. Like, there was so much love and anger and passion, and whatever happened in the car, because there are only two people that know what happened in that car, you know, they separated, but again, like both of you guys said, they can't
It's
get
like a
away from
magnet.
each
They
other.
just can't. I mean, what's
Yeah,
your thought on
that's the
being a
thing.
female, like
Be-
on the whole? No, on
It's
him. I
funny.
mean, but I mean on him in general. What's
The
your
after
thought?
effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny. I've had, you know, different thoughts about the whole situation and immediate thoughts and probably a popular thought about the situation. But at the same time, I'm pretty diplomatic, and I kind of cheer for that person too who's messed up, and I think there is the possibility that someone can kind of become rehabilitated in that sense.
And I mean, we see him in the relationship he's in now, and you know, we haven't heard any type of
Nonsense.
physical.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. When Rihanna was on Oprah, I was kind of, you know, I was like, oh, okay, it's real. It was so real what she was saying. Everyone's probably thinking, oh, they're mad. Like, why are you still in love with him? But that's her real emotion. It's not like if she had lied and said, oh, I hate him, you know, it wouldn't have been anything for her to grow on, I think.
But yeah, because sometimes like a really good friend of mine, like his boyfriend cheated on him. I mean, it like a couple of times, and I'm like, why don't you? I'm like, why can't you just leave him? He's like, I can't. I love him. Like, if I could leave him, I would, but my heart's still there, just like Rihanna. I mean, I think it transcends like any type of relationship. But like Rihanna, just like what you had said, and I think with him, like they just can't. Like, there's something that just it pulls people back in. I mean, you can try to move on, but sometimes you're just like, I wonder what's happening.
And that's the thing. I think everyone who has the opinion of, oh, they should stay apart, I think you're kind of projecting what you would do. Like, I could say, yeah, I'd never go back.
But you're not in
But
their
I'm
shoes.
not her. Yeah, I'm not him. And that was interesting because someone asked Oprah, like, they told her, oh, there are rumors that they're together again. And she said, oh, okay, well, I'm not to judge. You know, they can do what they want to do. And I thought that was interesting. So.
And speaking of Oprah's show,
Go ahead.
it's fall.
Are you gonna own it?
It's fall, so
You got that?
there's so many
But it's-
new.
Bing is for
shows
doing.
coming
I just did.
He owned it.
This guy. There's so many new shows here on AfterBuzz starting.
Oh.
Like, This Is How I Made It.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Bad Girls is ending. Real Housewives of Atlanta, Vampire Diaries, Jersey Shore, whatever your favorite fall TV show is, right after, tune into AfterBuzzTV.com, and we'll probably talk.
Oh,
Happy endings too tomorrow night.
There
You
you
know,
go.
let's go into some news and predictions. So, we're not necessarily predictions, but news. We're about to wrap up soon.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Let's go ahead and start with Naya. Can we go ahead and pull up the video of Naya? She's with Two Cellos album. It's a Supermassive Black Hole.
We can't
we
pull up
can't.
the
Oh,
video.
we can't pull it up. Oh, oops! I look bad, don't I? But anyway,
No,
like, the
Why don't you sing
It's
it
okay.
first?
That's why we can't pull it up. We
yeah.
really just want you to.
you want me to sing it?
Yeah.
No.
No.
But so anyway, so the video is really sexy. If you could check it out, like it's on her website.
Is it Naya
Can you
Rivera?
give us
dot
a
com?
NayaMarieRivera.com, and it's very sexy video, and she sings. It sounds like it. I don't know. I wish we could play it right now to see if it is a little auto-tuned.
I
But
love her voice.
but she's very sexy in the video. Like she's gorgeous. Like the video's stunning. You know, she's doing a good job. So let's see. Do you guys know her nicknames?
Herpes in the headshot?
No.
No, it's a
he was
mole.
talking about that before.
Oh, because I was like looking at it,
it's
but then in the other one she doesn't
it's
have
like
it.
she took it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She
It's
may
a-
have had it.
Look, we're all
Yeah, like,
defensive of her.
um,
We're like, it's a mole. Leave
yeah,
her alone.
like Enrique, he got his
Mhm.
removed.
He needed to.
Oh wow.
Sorry.
Oh, Rob.
Sorry.
The
I don't think moles are
views-
bad. Hey, I got a
What
mole.
is
It's
that
okay.
thing?
It says that removed. There we go.
Look, I'm
I
I'm
liked
bold.
his.
So,
I
so
liked
her
Moles.
nickname,
I liked his.
Nene Rivers and Nay, Nene.
Nay, nay, nay.
All these damn
You're reading the
nicknames
lyrics.
Yeah, all
Right.
these different nicknames. But anyway, yeah.
My
So,
thing is the Naya dance.
what's that? Can you do it?
No. You
What
brought this up.
Is it like the
Naya
Beyonce?
dance.
Is it the?
Can you please show us?
Come
Come on, don't be.
I don't know. I don't remember. She actually just sat there and was singing. That's what it was.
That's
Oh.
what the Naya dance
Yeah,
is.
she was just sit there
Oh,
singing.
See how
so
he's
was
just
that the
working his
video?
way out
Yeah,
of
she was actually. They filmed it after. It was a low budget. Sorry,
she was still
Naya.
sitting.
But
it.
I'm trying to get out of singing as much or dancing, excuse me, as much as I can. But yeah, so anyway, so she's good. That should be released soon. I mean, there's if you go to YouTube or we can tweet it for you,
Yeah.
the links to it. It's there's a little preview. It's Elton John's company's actually managing it, and he talks about it, which is pretty fascinating.
Oh, are they?
Uh huh.
Nice.
And he's actually in the
That's-
interview. He
I
talks
bet.
about it, and he talks about the cello group and how like amazing they play the cello. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
I'm excited for her album because I think she's sexy. I think she owns her sexiness, and her voice is phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah.
Check
So
it
I
out.
think it'll
Seems
be
like
really
on
interesting.
the brink of doing something bigger.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
she seems underrated to me.
Which she kind of has to, because weren't you talking about Glee? They're pretty soon gonna wrap up, aren't they?
And I mean, because Marissa, she graduated from Glee, right?
Yeah, she graduated in season 3.
Right.
She's now in college.
Right.
Ah.
So, and I mean, I'm sure you guys talk about this on Glee. This platform, and I know a couple of them. I've hung out with Amber, and like she says, like
Mhm.
this platform is perfect. And I have yet to meet Leah Michelle, but I can see for her career where this is going to take all these
Mhm.
these kids
Mhm.
and specific ones.
Mhm.
I think Leah, Amber, and Naya
Mm-hmm.
probably the headliners.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Would you agree with that, Marissa? Yeah.
Oh,
that's the song.
is that it?
Marissa, you're awesome. I love
Oh,
you.
it's very like 80s.
Listen, what do you think? It's a little auto tune though, isn't it?
Under false pretenses. Listening to the lyrics. Hold on.
I got.
I think it's. She doesn't need auto tune at all. So I think that's just kind of like the
Yeah,
sound.
that
producing
was
of it, maybe?
Beautiful voice. She
Yeah.
doesn't need it.
But it sounded like maybe it's just a producing of
I think
it.
that's yeah.
Oh, and I love that. Like, it's very 80s. Like you saw the movie
Yeah.
Drive.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
It sounded like that kind of a soundtrack.
Like the
I
opening
love
credits.
It's a really
Yeah.
good song. Check it out. I'm impressed. But let's go to Mr. Brown, Chris Brown.
Chris
Some
Brown.
predictions and
Prediction. Well, he's. This isn't a prediction. He's actually rehearsing for his tour. That's why we couldn't get him to come on the show today. But we'll probably have it tweeted out by Mr. Brown. Have our show tweeted.
let's
So
do
that
it.
should
Come
be
on
cool.
now.
And then also, what else did we?
Well, we talked about
When does this tour start? Do we know that?
November, I think 14th. Or
I think
something
we
like
should
that.
go.
It's in Europe.
After, but
In yeah.
I think we
Wait,
should
well,
go.
yeah,
We
we should
should-
still go.
hey, Chris flies out there. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, it's Denmark and some other cities.
Oh, what else? And there's something else about him. Like he's been seen out. Let's just throw
Seen
it out
out
there.
with Rihanna and Well,
Three's
yeah,
Company.
That's true, but I mean, different news sources, which I'll confirm with the reps, but claim that they'll go public once Rihanna's album drops November 19th.
Really?
What are your thoughts? What do you think? If your opinion, or just our humble opinions.
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know if they need a specific date to go public, because
You think they are
I
together?
think they've been out public already. Yeah. I mean, she has said it. She said it on Oprah. They've seen each other out. They've been to parties together.
And didn't she pat him on the head at the was it the Grammys when she patted him?
No,
and kissed
it
him
was
on
the MTV, or
It-
was they
yeah,
hugged each other
yeah.
and like, gave a kiss?
Did you have a
kissed
kiss?
her,
That's what it
which
was,
I think- Yeah.
What do you think? You think they're still together, or what's your?
I don't think they're still together. I think that they're seeing each other a little
Mhm.
more. And
Mhm.
what I hope, you guys,
What's
I
that?
really hope. I just feel like labels can kind of ruin things at times, and you guys are both in the industry. You're busy. You're doing so much stuff, and it's cute. Just see each other when you guys can see each other. Hang out with you guys. Do whatever you guys want behind closed doors. In the public. Let's not put a title on it though. Not yet. Let's.
You're not
let's let the
comfortable in their
no. Let's let the pot settle.
Well,
let
And
you
there's
know?
something to say for like people like Beyonce and Jay-Z who don't talk about their relationship publicly. I think
I think
and
that
when you
relationship's a
set
mess.
that precedent, then you don't have to answer to certain things like that.
Exactly.
No, I
You know.
completely agree.
So
I think they are seeing each other. I think they're trying to keep it quiet, and I think they probably will. I mean, I
like,
really
please
think
don't
they
be
will.
a Kanye Kim. Don't be a Kim Ye.
No, don't Kim.
that's the total
Yes.
opposite.
Do not do that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's healthy because I think you don't need us in your bedroom per se. I mean, you need to
Right.
have that
Literally.
privacy. Yeah, literally.
The Instagram.
But I think they are, and I hope they can work it out because I think, I mean, if you look at their songs, like a lot of them are about each other, or we would assume they're about each other, and I think they offer a lot for each other if they can have a happy and healthy relationship, and I think they can they can help a lot of people out because a lot of people do go through horrible relationships, and if they can find some way, they can hopefully help other people get through their situations. But yeah, so
you guys do it for the kids.
Yeah, hopefully with help. Like not just kind of navigating on their own. I'm just saying for the people who are in
They
worse
need what's her name
situations.
from the OWN network? Ayana, is that her name?
Ayanla.
Ayana, is that
Yeah,
it?
Ayanla.
Let's
Van
get
Zandt.
her to sit down with them.
Well, that's, because you don't want to just say, keep staying in your bad relationships. You want to kind of.
I want
work
them to be
through
happy
it.
and healthy, and hopefully they'll find something together, or if not, maybe they'll just be friends. But
I feel
I
like,
feel like
they
there's
both,
the
something
general
more
public,
though.
so-
I
Yeah.
feel like they both
Yeah.
grown a little bit,
Mhm.
Yeah.
seen a lot, and that's why let's not call it anything yet. Let's continue to grow.
You're not
I'm
you're
not there yet.
You're not
I'm
there
not there
because
yet.
of Jesse.
I'm
we need
not
them
just
to-
me. I think it's me and a whole bunch of people out there.
Uh-huh.
I'm just being vocal about it.
Okay.
I'm with you
He's a
guys.
little
I think
emotional.
there is more, but I agree with you. I hope they
Take their time.
second time around they
Just
can
let it- let
let
the
it be.
pots,
Just let it be, right?
You know how like soup's good the next day, it's not really good the day of. Let's just
Like
do that.
lukewarm, maybe.
Yeah. No. I would like you gotta
Just more
heat
flavor.
it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, the flavor settles. Let's let those juices just settle.
On that note,
Marissa's like,
That just
what
went somewhere
in-
totally different.
on that note, you can play with my Twitter at Thomas
But
Guy.
I love that performance of Chris Brown. I can't wait to see his new tour.
I
I'm
love
excited.
that. Can we do
What's that?
Can we do an episode from that church?
That'd be awesome.
I love the
Yeah.
lighting.
All right, so we're wrapping up. You,
Right.
you can play with my Twitter at Thomas Guide. What's yours?
At DJ Jesse J.
At Kendrick Cabasel.
Follow us at AfterBuzzTV.
.com.
.com.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.